Don Gamble, our guest today from Canine Search and Rescue of Kansas. Don, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Morning. Tell us maybe a little bit about what Canine Search and Rescue of Kansas is.
Canine Search and Rescue of Kansas is a all-volunteer group that does search and rescue for a disaster situation like a tornado. We can do a missing person, a senior that's wandered off from a senior home, a little kid missing at a camping area, something like that. All of the people on our team are nationally certified as search and rescue technicians, and then we do also focus on the canine part of it. We have about somewhere between 8 and 10 dogs right now that are fully nationally certified as search and rescue dogs.
And we also have, let's not forget, Lincoln here in the studio with us.
I was going to bring that up. I forgot to guess.
Lincoln is a huge Alaskan Malamute, the most beautiful dog. Not only is he smart, but he's also nationally certified, is he not?
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, number one, don't know you exist, Don, but I don't think they really have an idea of how many places you go or how many places you've been. I know you have cadaver dogs, you have scent dogs, you have, tell us a little bit about, if I had a child missing, I can tell you I would want Canine Search and Rescue in Lincoln coming to help find my child.
Obviously, public awareness is big for us. That's why things like this are great for us. We are not connected to any law enforcement agency, so we would not self-deploy. People cannot necessarily call us directly, but what they could do is if they're in a situation where maybe we're needed, they could tell law enforcement, hey, I've heard of this group. Is this maybe a group that we could contact? We have a website. It's caninesarc.org that people can go to for all the contact information that they would need to get a hold of us. But, we do have a wide variety of abilities on our team. Like I said, not only the human searching side of it, because there's a whole set of skills for that. You have to certify as a human search and rescue technician first. Then once you've done that, then you can go to the canine side of it, which is a whole other set of skills, both for the dog and for the human. All our dogs are non-discriminant air scent search and rescue dogs, which means they're trained to search specifically for a human odor. They don't need Timmy's shirt or missing little sock from Sally. Those are scent-specific dogs, and those dogs are great in certain situations. But in a situation a lot of times where you have something missing, you don't have a pristine article that only has the scent of that one person on it. If it's a disaster situation like a tornado, you may not even know who you're missing, who you're looking for. So our dogs are trained to search for a human odor, period. It doesn't matter to them if it's a 3-day-old, a 30-year-old, or an 80-year-old.
Wow.
All humans put off enough common scent that's the scent that they're trained to. And everybody's constantly sloughing off skin cells. That's what's putting off your scent. Those are going to be carried on the air currents, outside on the breeze, even inside in a building search. There's at least a little bit of, air conditioning, heating, a little bit of air moving where they can do searches inside. And that's what we think makes our dogs really generically useful in so many situations. A tracking dog is great in specific situations. A scent-specific dog is great in certain situations. But our dog we can basically take into any situation where you have a missing person, and they should be able to look for that person.
So typically you are called in by law enforcement?
Typically, yeah. The call-outs that we typically do, whether it's a missing person situation, we've been on searches where what we're looking for is a missing clue of some sort, because our dogs are also trained to search for articles that have a human scent on it. Maybe it's a missing cell phone. Maybe it's a missing weapon that's been used in a crime. So we've been called in to search fields, maybe for a missing weapon, a field for a missing person who they think may have dropped their cell phone. And maybe our dogs are going to go out and look for that cell phone.
It's amazing, isn't it, to think about?
Isn't that incredible? It is. Now, you were in Greensburg.
Greensburg was actually before I joined the team, but yeah, the directors of our team, our head training officer, our operating officer, and our assistant training officer that started this team had just kind of gotten this team up and rolling just before Greensburg. And one of the guys on our team and his dog were responsible for multiple finds in Greensburg and absolutely helped save save some lives.
That must be a very physically demanding task.
It can be. It can be. We were out on a search with Lincoln. We were looking for a missing hunter out in southeast Kansas. It's been a couple of years ago now, where we were out in the field for about 6 hours. We took about a 30-minute break. We were out for 2 or 2.5 hours, took about a 30-minute break, and we're out for another 2.5 hours or so. And it was up and down hills, and it was, across creek beds. And it's demanding for the humans and demanding for the dogs.
Which brings up my next question. Do the dogs, like when they're searching, let's say in a tornado in Greensburg, for an example, there's a lot of debris, a lot of nails, a lot of sharp objects where you and the dog can be hurt. What precautions do you take to protect the dog's feet? And
Absolutely. There are heavy-duty booties that you can get to put your dogs in a situation where you think there may be glass or debris or other things that could hurt their feet. It's not going to be foolproof. It's about as thick as the sole of a thick shoe, but certainly offers them more protection than nothing. That's why, even though this is an all-volunteer deal for us, we still, it still generates some expense if this is something that you want to get into. By the time you put together the equipment that you need as a human searcher, and you make sure that your dogs are equipped with the things that they need, that's why, donations and public appearances and things like that are important for us.
absolutely. And you have a new trailer.
We do.
I was pleased to know, and everything, just a reminder for all of you listening, if you have not been aware of this organization, you can donate. If you're an animal lover like I am, this is such an important organization, and I can't think of any place I would rather my money go. Give us the website just one more time, and then I have a question about your trailer.
The website is K and then the number 9, SARK, so it's K9SARK.org. That does have a PayPal link on it. If you want to donate to our team, you can do that through that. We do lots of public appearances. One of our other big ones is at Wolfstock, so we're always taking donations at public appearances like that, and every little bit helps. We have a trailer to equip. We have electronic equipment that we need to buy so we can stay in communication with law enforcement officers, equipment for the dogs. So there's plenty of good places for it to go.
But the donations enabled you to purchase that trailer, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We put on a big golf tournament about a year and a half ago, but also the little donations of $1 here, $1 there at Wolfstock, a $5 donation to our PayPal account or whatever, allowed us to purchase that trailer, which was a big deal for us. It gives us a place to get us and the dogs in out of the weather if we're out in a situation where maybe it's raining. It gives us a place also to get away from the public a little bit if we've got sensitive information to discuss. Gives us a place to put our computers, our maps, the things where, we kind of need a place that we can get away and just do our work.
You're listening to Clear Channel Weekend this morning with Dave Wilson and Robin Ragland Smith, talking with Don Gamble from K9 Search and Rescue of Kansas. I know, Don, you talked a little bit earlier about when you began. How did the K9 SARK come to be? When did that start, and how did it start?
I think our directors started this team probably somewhere close between 9 and 10 years ago. We joined with Lincoln, my wife and I. We joined about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Our director was involved in law enforcement. Our head training officer was involved in law enforcement, and I think that's where some of the initial interest came from.
Okay.
And he had done some work with some other teams in the area and decided that he felt like he could put together a good team, and it was something that he wanted to get started with, and it's grown from there. Being a volunteer situation, our membership kind of fluctuates. People get involved in it, and then they may decide that that's a little more of an investment than they thought it was going to be, both money-wise and time-wise.
Right.
We train every weekend somewhere in the Wichita area. We're always looking for people to come out and work with the dogs, so that's another thing you can find out through our website if you're ever interested in coming out and watching our dogs work, or maybe going out and hiding in a wheat field somewhere and seeing if they'll come and find you.
That's up your alley right there,
Oh,
Robin.
I know. I'm just thinking I want to do that.
You can always contact us through the website, and we'll let you know where we're training that particular Saturday, and we love to have people come out, and gives the dogs somebody new to look for rather than looking for people who are on the team all the time. It's great.
Do they distinguish between familiar scents and a new human scent?
They're going to look for human scent, whatever we send them out to do. Sometimes you can notice a difference in the excitement level.
Right.
If they're searching for somebody on the team that they've searched for dozens of times. You may not see quite the excitement level out of them that you do if they're out there and they get a whiff of a new human scent that they don't have a lot of experience with. New dogs, fresh dogs that are training, you train them with their owner's scent and with scents that they're familiar with so that they are excited about finding something they know, and then you work them off of that into strangers.
What are you looking for in a dog when a new dog is coming in? You're going to train a dog. What are some of the characteristics you're looking for?
That's a great question because we get people all the time at Wolfstock and places that are saying, well, I've got a dog, you know. It doesn't have to be a particular breed. For what our dogs do, size is fairly important. You're looking for at least a mid-sized dog. If you're out in chest-high grass or what, you know, a dog that's 6 inches tall isn't going to work very good for us. And then we look for a little bit of prey drive. You know, do they like to chase a ball? Do they like to chase a frisbee?
Right.
Age, you know, this process from we're going to start training your dog to your dog is nationally certified is probably between a year and a half. And mid to upper size dogs, you're looking at retiring probably at the age of 7 or 8. So, you know, if you bring a dog to us that's 4 or 5 years old, by the time we invest the training time in it, there's really not enough career left to make it worth the investment for everybody. So we like to get a hold of dogs as young as possible, start the basic obedience, and then start the search training.
Now, do you have tryouts for dogs?
It's not necessarily a tryout. If we have somebody that comes to us and says, hey, I'm interested in your team and I think I have a dog that might be good, we'll ask them to come without their dog a couple of times and kind of get a basis for what things are so that they're just paying attention to us, not to their dog. And then we're going to ask them to bring their dog, and we're just going to see how their basic obedience is, and we're going to see if they look like they like to chase a ball or if they've got some natural instincts for it. And our head training officer is good at kind of getting a pretty quick judge of most dogs and whether it looks like they've got potential. And then, you know, we start training. And again, we're all volunteer. We're going to train your dog for free as long as you make the investment to come and be a part of the team and show up at training as often as we ask you to. And we'll see how your dog does.
Is there a phone number in addition to the website if people don't have access to a
The phone numbers are on the website, but as far as people who do not have access to the website,
we're gonna get that number for you in just a minute.
My wife is quickly looking that number up for us.
There you go. There's the number. We've got it. I can't keep...
641-2862. Area code 316-641-2862 would be to our operations officer, and she would be able to give you any information you need if you're not a computer person and don't want to go to the website. We're also on Facebook. You can find us at K9 Search and Rescue of Kansas on Facebook. We do a lot of postings about training, lots of pictures and things like that.
Well, it's a wonderful organization. I'm so distracted by Lincoln. You know, I just can't keep my hands off him. I wish you all could see him, but please consider donating. If you were unaware of them before and we've made you aware of them, consider donating. This is a great organization. Only volunteers, and they only can do as much as donations allow. So go to the website,
K9SARC.org. We are a fully certified nonprofit organization, so any donations to us are tax deductible, and every little bit helps.
Well, we appreciate you bringing Lincoln, and of course your wife. Let's not forget her because she is part of the team. But we appreciate it so much. And again, if people have questions, they can go to the website. There's contact information on there. Is that correct?
That sure is.
Well, I know if I had a missing child, Dave, I know you feel the same way. I would want you guys on the job.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don Gamble from K9 Search and Rescue Kansas. Again, thanks for coming on Clear Channel Weekend this week.
Thanks for having us.
Clear Channel Weekend